Hi there, this is Team GrowGlobal, and today we are presenting our product that we have created for the hackathon. It's called GrowSupplyChain. Initially, when we were discussing about the problems that we are trying to solve, we decided to start from Miro board. So our first goal was to create a process flow that could actually draw out the whole supply chain process and how we could impact on the traceability using blockchain. So as you can see in my screen right now, we had the flow that started from sales order, and actually every sales order ultimately resulted in a production order, and then it had something to do with backward scheduling. Finally, it goes to a purchase order. Then there's a PO process which picks it up, and this PO process is like a purchase order process where the vendors are actually brought into picture. Finally, there's a raw material that is being fulfilled or received, and then things are actually racked into the warehouse. And once the warehouse racking is done, it finally reaches the production floor where there are certain entities like the routing master, production line, and all of this finally takes us to the batching process where the finished product is created. There's a master identifier label, and that's where finally it is again connected to the logistics department where it goes through the invoicing journey, and finally the finance actually approves the invoice getting paid, and the sales order is considered to be completed, and the sales rep knows now it's the time to actually intimate the customer that it's time for your delivery. As you can see in this process, at different areas we have done this box of blockchain injection, and especially those areas are where we are trying to inject the blockchain into the picture and making sure that the whole thing is recorded on chain. This only improves transparency, traceability, compliance, and even working on making sure that authentic products actually reach the shelf. So what it means for an end user is that whenever they try to scan the master label, they can get information about all the journey that it has been through, and even recorded on chain with the exact created timestamp date. So that's our vision. That was the big picture, and as you can see that this whole area from sales order to fulfillment actually holds the traceability matrix. We started from here, and then we move on to actually building this out. As a part of this hackathon, we started building, and this is now the dApp that we have built. So coming into the dApp, so the dApp is called GrowSupplyChain. It's hosted in the Vercel, and the beginning screen that you see here is from a sales order perspective. The first thing in this app is to assign people with roles. By assignment, I mean actually attaching the wallet address of the roles who will be responsible in the system. For example, sales rep will have a role, purchase order, warehouse manager, and we have outlined the same in our process document here as well. So you can go through our process document and you'll see that all the roles here are basically identified by their unique wallet address. And we have also implemented Civic into our system so that people can even log in using their face recognition and NFT as an NFT. So in this demo, we'll take it forward from the sales order or a sales rep's point of view. I'm logged in as the sales rep. So my wallet is connected here as the sales rep. It was already assigned through the role manager by the admin. Let us try to create an order. So somebody has called me today in the morning and said that he wants to order a laptop. So we are taking the example of a laptop manufacturing company. So we have an order for, let's say, 6 laptops, and we do a save change. At every point there is a blockchain interaction, like you can see. So I need to confirm. There is TXDC, and there you see there is a sales order ID that just got generated. So now we can see the sales order was generated. Cool. Okay, so now I'm logged in as the purchase order manager, and as you can see, we just now raised the sales order 1635539. For the sake of the demo, we will open this purchase order and we will create PO line items. So by PO line item, I mean me as the purchase order manager, I would now select all the materials that are needed for making this laptop. So let's say a battery, I need one battery. I will put the vendor. So vendor responsible is actually coming from our vendors table that we have created just for this demo. In real time, this will be also accessible to be created by the admin. So save changes. At every point you can see the blockchain injection happening, so everything is written to the blockchain. All right, so battery, let's create another material that we need, like the screen. Let us select Ericsson, not Sony, and save the changes. Again, we need to pay the gas. All right, so let's say that we have we add one more stuff. Let's say speakers, and we save the changes. So what we are essentially doing here is that we are creating a purchase order against the sales order, which was 16539. If we remember, that was the sales order ID. And now all these vendors have been notified that we have raised a purchase order, and we are looking forward to receiving some quotes from them. Let's say we have received the quotes and also a date when these vendors will actually supply the materials. So let's say I got a reply in my email. Now this process we cannot replicate, but this for the sake of this demo, let's say we got a reply from the vendor saying that the items will be delivered on 24th June. I save the changes. Similar manner we do it for the others as well. Let's say 28th here, and also last one with 30. All right, so me as the purchase order manager right now, I have completed the date, inputting all the date that is. So I have now a confirmation that okay, all my materials are coming here. So now I can click as mark as vendor accepted. This process actually makes the flow run for the next stage. Okay, once you do this, we again confirm it on the blockchain. So the status, as you can see, has changed. Now it has become looking for vendor acceptance. Okay, now I'm logged in as the logistics manager. Once I'm here as a logistics manager, I specifically look for all those orders, purchase orders, for which the vendor has been accepted. So just now we saw that these vendors are accepted, and in the logistics I have actually now received my materials. So I have got the confirmation that okay, now I have received them. So I'll just update the receive date here. Many a times the dates are not exact, so we are giving the freedom to the logistic manager to actually change these dates as and when they are arriving. So again, change the date here, and the date here as well. All right, just for the sake of this demo, what we are trying to tell, or rather say, is that now we have received all the materials that are needed for the production. So we can now consider this to be fulfilled. So we, as the logistics manager, will have the power now to click on this button, mark as fulfilled. There again, we have interact with the blockchain. All right. So now the status should change, and that we can see in the next video. Like we already saw, the logistics manager has now fulfilled the order. So I have now logged in with a separate wallet, this time as the warehouse manager. Me as the warehouse manager will now be doing into the real stuff of warehouse racking. That is, I will actually put the shelf life, barcode, batch number, and all such details against every material out there. So let us do this for the demo. Shelf life, barcodes, batch number, save changes. Again, we will have to do it for all of them. There is a small refresh issue here, but we can always tackle that. All right, let's put the numbers here and save the changes. All right, so if we go back to the screen, we can see that all our items have now got the shelf life, the barcode, the batch number in them. So we are actually ready for production. So this is the time when the warehouse manager will actually inform the production plant or the production manager that okay, our items are here and we are now ready for production. Clicking this actually again interaction with the blockchain confirmation, and the status will change, which we can see again in the next video. Okay, so now I'm logged in as the production manager and I am looking into all that is happening in my production plant for preparing the laptop. Let's say my production is now completed. I have got a green signal, and then I will be looking and clicking on this button out here, mark as ready for batching. Confirmed. So once we do this, that means our production has now informed the batch manager to actually do the next step of the journey. All right, now I'm logged in as the batch manager. As you can see, I'm still working on the same sales order, which is 16539, and I can see that the status is now ready for batching. So I'll open this order, I'll put down the barcode, I'll give a serial number, and this is, mind it, this is what we are doing for the master level of the real product that is going out, and we are making sure that all these data is actually recorded on chain, as well as we generate a QR, which is like the bigger goal that we're trying to chase. Save changes. All right, we confirm this and we are done. Let's see then in the next video. Once the batching manager has created the master level, the flow now returns back to the logistics manager. So me as the logistic manager, I would actually come ahead and see that this product is now ready for delivery. So we are still chasing on 16539. Once we open this, we see that okay, all the barcode, batch number, everything was there. So now it's time for the final delivery. So the logistic manager will put a date, is a final date when the product will be actually shipped out to the customer, and they will save the changes. Again, something that we record on chain. The interesting thing that happens is that during this whole journey, at every point of time, the sales order pipeline shows the current status. And once we do look into any such order, if we try to track an order and we try to look into the details of it, we can see that the status has changed and it's now ready for invoice. So since the logistic manager has actually put in the customer final delivery date, it will now go to the finance manager who will actually create the invoice which will be paid by the customer, and the process will actually come to an end. At every stage of the journey, as you can see, we can always open these and it will take us to the Explorer, Blockchain Explorer, where we can see the exact transaction, when did it take place, and more information about the same. So essentially, this is our exact process flow monitor, and it's available all the time, and it gives us a very decent view of how the flow happens from procurement towards in the final stages. In the next video, we'll look and log in as the finance manager. Now I'm logged in as the finance manager. I can only see those sales orders which are ready for invoicing. So this is where I will update the invoice that needs to be sent out to the customer. For the sake of the demo, we'll just put a PDF file out here. At this moment, we are again having a transaction with the blockchain. Our future vision is that we will even make an NFT of this invoice. All right, I think this is done now. Let's look into the next stage. In real-time scenario, whenever an invoice will be paid, the finance manager will log in and change the status of that invoice to paid. For the sake of the demo, it has already been done now. And as you can see, I am back logged in as the sales rep. I can see, okay, the sales order is now paid, and you know, I have reached that stage of the journey. I click on this paid, and then I can see the record in blockchain as well. It has happened a minute ago. So we are clear now that we are ready for delivery. So then comes my last work, uh, and that we will discuss in the last video. So now we are back to square one. So I, as a sales rep, will now log in and I can see, okay, this was my sales order, and I can see the status is already paid. So that means the customer has paid the invoice, the customer final delivery date that is already populated by the logistic manager. We have the barcode, the batch number, the master label, as well as I can see the invoice, which is stored in Firebase. So now my last thing that I need to do as a sales rep is to update the tracking number, which is mostly like a courier number and stuff like that. So just for this demo, and we will put a date, tentative date that is given by, for example, the courier company. Save the changes, again writing the same to the blockchain. Woohoo, we are done. So what essentially we did in the whole journey can now be seen end to end. If we open this order, for example, we can see that the whole journey is now completed and the status shows as completed. So this is essentially how the flow would work, and this is a very thoughtful process in terms of the design that we have implemented. We can always tweak this, we can change this and make this more tailor made, but this is more like a skeleton. The idea that we are chasing is to create a master label, and when you scan that master label, that QR, you basically get to see the whole view, and the end customer is also able to understand the authenticity of the product and even find out how things have progressed throughout its journey. So we are bringing in transparency, we are reducing duplicacy in the shelves, and making sure that everything that we have in terms of immutability, in terms of transparency, in terms of traceability, is actually done and recorded on the blockchain. That's it from our side. The whole system is live on the test net. We can always deploy to the main net of XDC, and we have a very big vision with this product. It's a very baseline. We wish to make it more like a SaaS product where small businesses can actually use this, and we can tweak it as per their need to make the supply chain management system more affordable, more decentralized, more open, and particularly visible to even the end customer who is, let's say, using the laptop and getting to see what all materials have actually gone into the process, and when and how they have been going through the journey. That's it. Team Grow Global signing off now. Thank you for watching this. Goodbye.